Hello, Capricorn. My name is Kristen Simone Hansen, and welcome to Sea Goat Secrets. All right, so Capricorn, October is a big month for you when it comes to love. We are pretty much in the space where love is taking on a whole new identity than it has in the past. And this is great for you. It is triumphant. It is expansive. It is, you know what? I'm going to look at myself. It's just easier. All right. Hi, Capricorn. So, October for you is very powerful when it comes to relationships. Relationships of all sorts. People are seeing you in a way that they have not up until this point. It's almost like, especially when Venus exits Leo and goes into Virgo, it's almost like a whole new viewpoint of you is going to be taking hold when it comes to the people in your life. It's like they're going to be seeing you in a way that they haven't up until this point, as if you've kind of been, as if the view of you has been foggy and a little bit muddy. It's going to be cleared off, and all of a sudden the harmony in your relationships is going to take center stage, and people are going to want to show up for you, which is rare for you, Seagoat. It's been quite rare for you for a while. You've been feeling alone on your journey of transformation. You've been feeling, I like to say, kind of like, you know, the Tibetan monks that would sit in a cave for years at a time, some of them 30 years, in order to reach enlightenment. That's kind of the journey that you've been on for a good chunk of time. And it's transformed you, and it's recreated you in every which way, but it could have felt very lonely. Even those of you who have been partnered, or, you know, still around your family or have children, it's like you've been with people, but it's almost as if though you're alone. It's like they're there, but really you're by yourself, you know? October is going to show up in a way where people are going to start to realize the hard work that you have done, the value that you hold in their lives, the sacrifice that you've put in, and on a simple note, just how beautiful you are, how attractive you are, how appealing you are. People are going to be more honest about their desires toward you when it comes to romance, and wanting to give you all that you feel like you deserve, and all it is that they feel like you deserve as well. You have the upper hand in your love life during October, especially when Venus enters Virgo, in terms of you kind of being able to say what it is that you want, and people delivering and respecting your boundaries. You know yourself now more than you ever have, and this Venus in Virgo transit is harmonious, and it trines you in terms of your Capricorn placement in your sun. And so the way in which Virgo has a sensuous connection with Capricorn, it's going to make you feel more like a good decision, a good investment in terms of love. It's like as if we're all seeing through the eyes of the Virgo when it comes to Capricorn, and we see Capricorn's value. You've gone through a lot up until this point when it comes to love. The Venus in Leo transit definitely taught you everything you needed to know about yourself as a lover. The past, you've reviewed all, if especially those of you who have been really focused on your meditations, you've been reviewing all of your exes, all of your relationships, the ups, the downs, the ins and outs, the good, the bad, the ugly. You've gone deep into your subconscious, down to your family, intergenerational patterns, etc. And you really know who you are as a lover and what it is that you desire the most. Even those of you who have been more removed from it and not necessarily diving into your subconscious, you know that you feel differently than you have in the past. You feel stronger than you have. You are more confident. You really love yourself. The relationship with yourself was the biggest thing that was being increased during the Venus and Leo transit. And it may have been difficult or painful for many of you, because some of you have ended relationships during that Venus and Leo transit, and they ended for good, and you realize that you couldn't return to them. Many of you have gone through divorces during that transit. Many of you have just been waiting for the love that you desire the most, or for those of you that started partnerships during that transit, it's felt like you like, it's almost as if you guys are in a good place, but you're not really in the place that you want to be. There's a lot of fat that needed to be cut, a lot of conversations that needed to be had, a lot of dynamics between the two of you where you were kind of dancing around each other trying to figure out exactly what it is that you desire the most. And that was because Venus was in your 8th house. You were aware of yourself, and the universe was putting you through an experience where you were made to be better, where it was refining you, refining how it is that you love. Many of you used to be overgivers, just in the way of Saturn. You know, you would look at work and love as if they were the same thing, not understanding that to deserve love is simply to deserve. And to love yourself, you're aware that you deserve love without needing to work for it or show up for it, or overgive to it, or here are my assets, here are the things that I have. That's no longer a part of the conversation. You are well aware of yourself, you have strong boundaries, and you're oozing in self-love. I want you guys to take a look in the mirror and see how much you've changed during this time period, because the Venus in Leo was making you more aware of your looks on a physical level, and how it is that you wanted to show up in the world, and beautifying yourself and valuing yourself and your features really and truly. Now, were you going through a lot in terms of, again, emotionally? Yes. You know, and addressing all these things when it comes to connections on a family level, on a romantic level, and on a self level. Yes, you were definitely being put through the ringer. And for some of you, and especially during the private readings, being, you know, we've had conversations about wanting to kind of release this pressure that you feel like you've been under. Some of you have been under, and now that pressure is being released. And it was important to understand that it was made to refine you, to make you better with loving yourself first. And now Venus and the universe in general is working in alignment to give you the things that you truly deserve, and now you know how to accept them. Now you know how to be better to them, and now you know how to be better to yourself, most importantly, and then being better to others by really allowing them to be better to you. Because most of you guys' issues were pertaining to the way in which you saw yourself or valued yourself. And for some of you, it was that you completely didn't value those that were good assets to your life because of various addictions where you were drawn to the things that were not. All of that has been released, refined, and changed and transformed within you. And so it's a great celebration in October in terms of this chapter, this kind of darker chapter of Venus in your 8th house coming to a close. Yes, in terms of those of you that were connected or dating, etc., there were good things that came with the Leo Venus, of course. There was fun, there was pleasure, fun and exuberant sexual life for some of you. But obviously it was made to get you to learn and grow and evolve. And now you're in a place where you don't need to, it's like your relationships are no longer things that are just made to teach you. Now you can get to a place where you can experience them just in time for your season, which is great. So again, relationships that give to you. That is the main focus that's going to happen in October. People seeing you and wanting to help you expand whatever it is that you may be doing. A lot going on in terms of your love life feeling lighter and feeling more fun because there's great healing happening. Long overdue apologies, especially when it comes to friends. If it's apologies that you're getting from exes, as I've said, when it comes to this season, in terms of October, there are great endings and new beginnings. So if people want to apologize to you like exes or etc., allow it, but do not return back to it. Remember that the endings that are taking place are made to work in your favor. And the good thing about these two eclipses is the fact that these are the kind of endings that cannot be reverted. So whatever is to go, let it go. And allow what is new to come into fruition. Do not do that Capricorn thing where you can kind of overstep and hold on to the past a little bit too much. Let the past be the past. Let whatever relationships end so that you can move forward. Yeah, people want to love on you. Big endings in love so that it can bring forth big beginnings. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that your relationships are ending. Like if you are happy in your love life or you guys have been going through a strain or a difficulty because of the Venus transit, no, it means chapters can end. Conversations, like a loop that you've been going through with your partner can come to a great end and a new beginning coming afoot, which is even better. Or with your family relationships or your friendships. What is done is done. Thank goodness. Yeah. What is done is done. Cycles done, revisiting done, circling back done. The good thing about the Venus in Virgo as well is because it's expressions that are coming from a distance, because Virgo is in your ninth house. So for those of you that are single, I will say that you might potentially be coming into union with a partner that is at a distance from you. Could be a partner that is from a foreign city, state, country, etc. You guys can have two different backgrounds, speak two different languages, something along those lines. Or have two different belief systems. So you could find yourself, if you are of one specific religion, in a connection with someone who comes from a different religion. But that the union and the bond that you are creating with each other kind of creates this merger between the two. Or it can simply be, again, a long distance relationship coming into fruition. You can also have the desire to move to your lover as well, with Virgo being in your ninth house during this transit. Bonding a lot through your differences and your different viewpoints in terms of belief systems and or cultures. The lunar eclipse also brings about powerful change and how you're moving forward, more harmony in your connections. The biggest thing for that solar eclipse in Libra, which happens on the 14th, it's going to also be the same day as the moon. So the moon will be in Libra, the solar eclipse will be in Libra. I believe Mercury is in Libra at the same time, and so is the South Node. So all of these things are in your 10th house. So the 14th is a huge pivotal day, and that 2-week time period, so 3 days leading up to the 14th, 3 days after, and then the kind of residual fat that happens after the fact, those are very pivotal times. And don't get me wrong, because it is, opposing Chiron, which is in Aries, there is a hyper focus on you, the identity, the self. There can also be a little bit irritation, frustration, anger due to tension, but those things are there to make you better. They're there to refine you. They're there to expand you and grow you. So all of the things that are going to be coming up to the surface is there to bring you to the next stage that you want to be in. So with Libra in your 10th house, it represents your career and your status, how you show up in the world, but Libra is also about partnerships. It's also about unions. So how it is affecting your, and frankly, love. So how it is affecting your love life is you are aware of who it is that you are and how you want to show up in love. So it no longer in a space where you're looking at love as if it's something that happens to you. You feel more in charge of your love life, more in a position of authority or a position of power, not necessarily in a negative way, but now you're feeling like you know what you want, you know what you deserve, and you want it to come into fruition. You're more aware of yourself and the kind of partner you want to have that actually betters your life, a partner that you can truly show up in the world with. Not just a partner that there's emotion there, but the other things don't connect. No, you're so aware of who it is that you are and how you show up in the world, and how the partner that it is that you desire the most is going to fit into that reality, fit into your identity, your status in the world, which is a great thing. And then also it's going to just be moving through the ideology of what kind of, especially in terms of marriage, really. It's really big for those of you who are married or looking to be married. And if you are single, really kind of manifesting and writing down the kind of partner that you want in terms of permanence. Not a semi-permanent partner, but you're hyper aware of the partner you want to have for the long term and for the long run, and how it is that they look, how it is that they are, not in a shallow sense, but in a sense of, I want to be with this person, not just feel for this person, but have a really strong bond with this person. And if you are already partnered, it's like, how do we show up in the world? How do we better expand on our relationship? Some of you can be thinking about starting businesses together. Some of you can be in a space where you're like, well, how do we, even down as simple to like, how do we take pictures for, Facebook? What are we doing for the holiday season? What kind of photos are we taking for the holiday card? Different things like that. What kind of couple costumes are we doing for Halloween? So these little moments in terms of, on a smaller scale, in terms of how your union expands on your image out in the world, to a larger scale of who it is that you want to marry, why it is that you want to marry them, and how it is that you want it to go. And most importantly, how your relationships are affecting your career. So are you, for some of you who are ending relationships and that is your liberation, it could be feeling like this person stands in the way of my dreams and I don't want that. Or I'm looking to have a partner that can expand on my dreams. Or if I'm a baker, I want my partner to be a cook, you know, so we can start a restaurant together. Different things like that. Making sure, and like I said, some of you starting businesses together because of how your relationship affects your career in a positive way. So you're leaving behind old relationship dynamics, and that's a big thing as well, as I was saying. So how can you guys, if you're already together, how can you do better in terms of how you affect each other's lives, especially pertaining to you, Capricorn? Your partner is seeing you in a new light and wants to really help you and expand on you and expand with you. And so it's a question of, okay, well, I don't want to feel overworked. I don't want to feel tired. I don't want to feel alone. I don't want to feel like I'm doing this by myself, right? So all of these conversations about how your partner can better help you, how you guys can be more intertwined and work more as a unit. So if whatever's been going on in terms of the Venus retrograde, in terms of whatever problems or strains that you've been having, it's putting to rest those things and finding solutions, and those solutions being the thing that moves you forward, which is great. And then next we have oh yeah, big time to create the ideal love. So again, idealistic love stories, very romantic time. So kind of the aftermath of the residual things that have been going on a little bit when it comes to September, coming into fruition. So for some of you, your love life could have been slowed down a little bit. If you met someone, it felt like they were the right person, but it might have been slowed down for whatever reason. Keep in mind, Venus is still in Leo. So that's a part of the feeling like you're smaller than divine timing, feeling like you are a victim to divine timing. No, it's with Venus still in Leo, there's still some, I keep saying fat that needs to be trimmed. For some reason that phrase keeps coming up, you know. It's like when you're talking about an 8th house placement, that is in fact the dialogue that is going on. And yes, it's not in retrograde anymore, but it's still in Leo. So that slowing down, that the universe kind of, it felt like it was putting a stop on a connection, but no, it was just slowing it down so you can refine more, so you can evolve more, so you can become even better, so that now that Venus has moved, you really know how to be a better partner to your partner. And most importantly, your partner knows how to be a better partner to you. And acts of service, which is a big thing for Capricorn, because you guys are big on, and in the past, a part of your problem was that people would say things to you and you believe them instead of allowing them to show you. So through all of this self-love that you've created and you've found within yourself, you're now the kind of person where you're saying, all right, if you love me, show me. If this is the kind of person you are, I need to see it. Wanting to only be aligned with authentic connections, authentic people, instead of falling for appearances, which you guys used to do in the past. So that is now gone, especially after the Venus retrograde, and you're ready for that which is very real, especially when you want to talk about Virgo and how Virgo trines with you, Capricorn. It's that earth energy is all about what is real. Not what is fake, not what is spoken, not what is an illusion, because water a lot of the time can be the illusion. What is spoken can be air, and with fire, it's just what the ego identity shows. But with earth, it's what is very real. Real, recognized real, basically, right? So yeah, big shifts to create a more harmonious balance with you and your partner, partners, family, home, etc. And those happened with the big endings, like I said. So yes, people can leave your life, but it's also cycles ending, cycles closing. And in the end, by the end of October, you're going to have a lot of balance. You're going to have a lot of harmony, a lot of peace. It's going to feel like, here we are, finally, you know. Deep, honest, powerful conversations, especially when we want to talk about Scorpio. So Scorpio is going to find itself in Mercury at the same time when it is in the Sun. So when the Sun shifts and Mercury shifts, that's at the end of October, things are going to get very deep. Okay, so we have the Libra saying, all right, well, this is the partnership. This is how I want to do this. This is how we're going to connect and create a bond or a union. When we switch over into Scorpio, things get deeper, but you guys are not afraid of the deep. You guys love the deep. You guys love Scorpio energy. deeper conversations, being able to really unveil and relax, especially when you want to talk about romantic love. Ease up and cozy up with your partner and be able to have very honest conversations, really get to know each other, really connect on a soul level and bond on a soul level, to end October just feeling very, very cozy and very honest and very deep with one another, which is great. And you guys deserve that. You deserve authentic bonds, especially because many of you are recovering from surface level bonds, bonds where people were using you, or narcissistic ties, things like that. And especially whoever it is that you're partnering with, again, people are giving to you. So now it's not the Capricorn who's being used, it's the Capricorn that is being given to. And then you can grow through that energy, right? Really understanding the value of what love is now that you love yourself more. And then let's go into the Venus transit. So, sorry, not the Venus transit, the lunar eclipse. Obviously, I'm going to make a video about this later on, but when it comes to love and the lunar eclipse, we're talking about a lot of pleasure because it is in Taurus. And Taurus and you guys love each other. You know, a lot of Taurus is in your 5th house, and so it's a lot of pleasure, it's a lot of sexuality, it's a lot of your viewpoints on money, on the things you value, on luxury, different things like that, the things that give you the most feelings of contentment. So all of that is happening in this lunar eclipse. So you are going to be aware of your pleasure centers on a very practical level, what you value in sex with your partner, what makes you feel the most cozy, what makes you feel the most complete in terms of your sexual connection. But then also on a much larger scale, you're going to be running into a bit of an opposition when it comes to the outside. So for some of you, based on the new partnerships that you are forming, you can run into a bit of an opposition with maybe exes or family members or friends that are not too happy with the partnership that you've now gained. It feels more like an ex, but at the end of the day, it could be anybody opposing this new love relationship of yours. It's not all of you. But there is that energy there at the end of the month for that lunar eclipse because of the way that it's squaring the sun, it's squaring Mercury, squaring Mars. So yes, you're focused on pleasure, you're focused on cozying up, you want to feel very warm, you want to feel very good in your own skin and good in your love life, but there's some kind of outside force. It could be a person, it could be an idea, it could be an ideology. Again, some of you can be forming partnerships with people that are again, foreign to you or far away from you, causing some kind of opposing energy. But it's something or someone who could be opposing the idea of this newfound connection for their own reasons, all the way down to an ex that's upset that you've moved on, to a concept about belief systems, different religions, backgrounds, etc. So nothing to really hold too tight to, but just understand that that kind of hater energy, I guess, is going to be prolonged throughout November. So be aware of it in the end of October. Don't internalize it. Know not to fight fire with fire, and just amplify the things that you are enjoying. For those of you that this does resonate with, amplify the love that you have and enjoy it. It could also just be as well for those of you that are already in relationships. You guys repairing things, feeling in a better space can ignite some negativity in other people, envy in other people, and they could kind of try to attack or feel frustrated or whatever it may be for their own reasons. It's not necessarily coming from a place that feels very valid. It's usually more than likely just coming from a space of disapproval for whatever reason, or envy, etc. I wouldn't read too much into it, but I would be aware of the fact that it is going to go on through November. If this resonates with you, that person, idea, or thing is going to kind of still linger around throughout November in terms of the opposition that they have with your new, either your new bond or your now repaired bond. So yeah. And if it is something in terms of family, it could be frustration with how it is that you're going about your family now that you've restored whatever issues that you guys were going through the Venus transit, whatever new beginnings that you formed, whatever you let go of and now have started new. It could be someone you let go of, feeling frustrated, whatever it may be. So anyway, so that's what we're looking at for the month of October in terms of love. Very beautiful energy, and especially for both of the moon transits, just understand that when there is beauty, there is also pain. So you're going to be aware of the times when you didn't have love so sweet, or feeling a little bit insecure in terms of having a lover that is so good to you. For those of you that are looking at romantic love, and if you got for new bonds or newer bonds, and if it is an older relationship, it's kind of easing each other into the now, and slowly letting go of the things that have happened up until this point and allowing them to be in the past, and saying, okay, here we are, let's start new, we're in a new place, let's do it that way, you know, and opposing any of the old concepts or ideologies that did not work for you in the past. So nonetheless, it's great energy. People are giving to you, family, friends, lovers, a lot coming back to you, Cap, a lot of good karma coming to you, because you definitely deserve it, and you've put in a lot of work to have it. You've been the wounded warrior pertaining to both subjects in terms of love and also your career, etc., because you've been transformed and you've been changing. But I want you guys to look in the mirror and see how great you are and see how far you've come, because although right now in this very moment you feel like there's something coming, but you can't necessarily put your finger on it, understand that the change and the transformation that has been going on is more about you, the person, transforming you, how the universe has helped you become the you that you, I keep saying you, but the person that you are so happy to see when looking back on you, looking back at you. A deep sense of self-contentment that you have now that you didn't have before. So I want you to emphasize that and appreciate that. And now the outside, right, it's showing up in the physical, is here to find you. So, but appreciate yourself first in order to really appreciate the things that are coming to you. All right, so that is your love astrology, and we're going to get into the reading. Okay. All right. Hello, Capricorn. So we've got for your advice, Lionsgate, in terms of your subject. Right, I'm sorry, this was your healing point. And in the shadow. Well, from the beginning, I would say in terms of advice, we're in a good space when we talk about love and we're looking at what you want wants you. And the shadow, only one card pushed itself forward, and that was this one here, which is also a good space to be in. Usually when the shadow cards come up in a multitude, usually I get a little bit worried. And I was a little uncomfortable about the fact that so many cards wanted to put themselves here for the subject. But it's not necessarily, heavy, so that's interesting. Let's see what's going on. All right. So, for your subject, we've got the Knight of Wands, the Fool, the Hangman, and the Four of Pentacles. For your advice, as I said, you got what you want wants you with going beyond normal. That alone is a good energy. For your shadow, we've got the Page of Wands in reverse. For the continuation, in terms of the clarity for your subject, we've got Not Today. And for your healing point, we've got Lionsgate. So off the bat, this is feeling very, very good. This is feeling very positive, very uplifting, very high vibrational. It's a bold feeling, it's a light feeling, it's a colorful feeling, so that's good. I'm feeling this auric state of, okay, we're in a good space, which is nice. So nothing too eerie, nothing too heavy, just very high vibrational and forward movement. So Let's kind of dive a little bit into these messages. So with the Knight of Wands, the Fool, the Hangman, so clearly there's a new beginning afoot, and it's coming in fast. But also we're looking at you kind of having to surrender to it and knowing where your boundaries are, knowing what is yours and what isn't yours, and keeping your cards to your chest. Because with the clarity coming in is not dealing with hurt, avoiding a conversation, things like that, still angry. So I can't help but feel like, and with the Page of Wands in reverse, in terms of your shadow, it feels almost as if though there's some kind of forward movement happening in love, but you're unsure whether you should trust it or, yeah, it's like something about being unsure about whether you should trust it or whether you should move forward or toward it. Because if there's still this lack of communication, kind of lack of talking, but yet, and so there's all this energy. There's this new beginning. There's this passion toward this new beginning. There's this excitement toward it, letting go and letting God going on with the Hangman. The Four of Pentacles at the bottom, which, yes, is a Capricorn card, but again, it's about keeping your cards to your chest. What is yours, holding on to it, kind of keeping those boundaries, a little bit fearful. So like, do I let go? Do I not let go? Because of what's going on here in terms of not wanting to communicate or not wanting to release, still being upset, or even just as simple as it could be angry, or it could simply be a boundary that you set with another person that is up for debate going on, or like causing whatever disruption this is. Because in terms of it, and I can't help but feel like it's also with you, because in terms of advice here, we've got what you want wants you and going beyond normal. So it's asking you to take a different approach, because what you want also desires you. But you've been in a headspace where you're unsure about that. And then with the Page of Wands in reverse being in the shadow, I mean, the Page of Wands is like kind of quick action, youthful action. It's almost like you're worried about making a stupid decision. Immaturity seems to be a conversation here. Flightiness, toxicity, fear of toxicity. Again, not something too heavy, but it's more like, okay, what is a good decision versus what isn't a good decision? Who is a good decision? What movements are being made? Impulsiveness, but in an immature state, not wanting to make a bad decision. But yet and still we have all this fire going on here. There's all of this passionate forward movement, surrender, release, but a block. This is about you. Or it could be that you, I mean, at the end of the day, this is all what's going on, right? There's some kind of block. Could be you having the block, and you need to understand that you can let go, do something different, allow yourself to think differently, because what you desire the most also desires you. That's the strongest confirmation you can get in love. What you want wants you. That's extremely strong confirmation. Because there's a lot of passion, a lot of forward movement, new beginnings. There's so much going on here. But there's fear. There's like a block. There's like something standing in the way. Because of some kind of fear or uncertainty. So it could be, like I said, that you are creating this block or someone else is creating this block, but you have to have faith that what it is that you desire desires you as well, going beyond normal. But I can't help it, like I said, I just keep feeling like the cards are in your hands, because you're going beyond normal and what you want wants you. That's your advice. It'd be one thing if it was just one of these and it was, you know, just the above one, but both of them came to find you. So clearly you need to take a different approach, because what you desire is definitely right here. There's new, something new, something new. I am going to get a lot of clarity though. Let's go into your healing point with Lionsgate. Okay, so we've got your heart has a heightened connection with the higher realms of consciousness and light. A blessing, empowerment, and positive omen shall enter your world. Doors will open for you. Abundance and prosperity are headed your way. And also in terms of lion gates for me as a reader, it's all about just full-fledged confidence and a classic sense of the lion and a classic sense of what Leo represents. And I mostly look at it as more of a Leo Chiron card for myself. So Leo Chiron is also, the wounded healer, right? Because Chiron is the wounded healer. But when a Chiron is healed, it is the ultimate exaltation of Leo energy, because it's Leo energy after it's gone through the wounds of Leo. So Leo void of ego and Leo truly shining in its highest elevation after experiencing something like the Chiron energy. I tend to feel like Leo is one of those cards or characters that really and truly can oftentimes only reach its highest elevation through something like the Chiron experience, because it can so easily dive into ego. So abundance and prosperity are headed your way. Take care of your heart. Again, and a love reading, confirmation on taking care of your heart. Ask for spiritual assistance and it shall be granted. Something negative is going to transform into something positive, which brings me back into this space of this block and this boundary. So positive omen, you've been through a lot. You've kind of been beaten up in terms of what it is that's going on. And this can honestly be one connection that has caused strain or difficulty that is going to work in your favor. It is here. There's confirmation nonetheless. But again, there's been some kind of block. But here we have the release of that block. We've got the Knight of Wands. We've got the new beginning with the Fool. We've got the Hangman in terms of releasing. But here we are with the Four of Pentacles in terms of keeping certain cards to your chest. It's having to do things differently. So I can't help but feel like wherever this has been in terms of the past, this block is something that was of the past. Let's get some clarity on it. And obviously here it is now showing itself in terms of a lot of forward movement, wanting to push past whatever block it is that has been going on. And it's inevitable that you will ultimately, because what you want wants you, what you desire the most desires you, but it requires change. It requires doing things differently than you've done them in the past. So yeah, we've got the narcissist paradigm enabling again, double confirmation on boundaries. Double confirmation on boundaries, but then we've got changed mind, growth, renewal, transformation. The phoenix burns off all that once existed in order to create something new. And then we've got the Five of Swords right next to the Six of Swords. So this brings me back to my point of whatever existed up until this point was not good. There was something negative going on. There was something that required you to enable your boundaries. There's something that was causing you to have to put yourself in a space where you had to protect yourself. But here it is changing. So in terms of what's going on in October, there's awareness of these boundaries. There's an awareness of whatever pain or difficulty has come about, and you're sailing away from it, all within the same month. So, because here we've got the Five of Swords, right? So again, the confirmation on boundaries, the fights, the war, the block, the pain, the difficulty, having to protect yourself from something or someone, and yet and still on the other side, we've got great healing coming and transformation and growth. So within this month, you're going to be going through probably, and I just can't help but say this, there's something about the difference between the change in seasons. From Libra to Scorpio, moving from the Five of Swords into the Six of Swords. From going to a space of fight, difficult, and boundaries into a space of clarity and healing. Okay? That's your reading, Capricorn. I love you. Ciao.